Okay, thank you for your patience. Let's start. Amagyantiminandasya Gyananjanjalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute. Rapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishbhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priyai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vashtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Hare Krishna. So welcome to ISKCON Bangalore's Understand Gita 18 days session, and we will do the summary of chapter number 10 today. Vibhuti Yoga, or its chapter is also called Opulence of the Absolute. What was the name of chapter 9? Can you tell me what was the name of chapter 9?
Vibhuti Yoga.
What was the name? What was the name of chapter 9? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. Rajguhya, what? Come again. Nobody knows. You can even write it in the chat.
Vibhuti Yoga.
No, chapter 9. The most confidential knowledge. Okay. The Rajvidya, Rajguhyam. So today's chapter number 10, which is called Opulences of the Absolute. So let's pay our obeisances to Shri Shri Radha Govinda before we proceed. This is what you did yesterday. It's a summary. Bhagavad Aishwarya Gyan. Krishna talks about what is so important about this confidential knowledge about him, and what makes it confidential. Bhagavad Gita is so widely available. There's so many translations available and so many formats. It's online, hard copy, soft copy, or e-copy, whatever copy. So what's so confidential? Because confidential means we are hiding something, we are keeping something very secret. But if it is so available, then what makes Krishna say that this is most confidential knowledge? And then Krishna speaks about ways to approach him. What are the different ways that we can go? Think of him, do everything for him, pay obeisances to him, offer him with love, a flower, a leaf, water, or some fruit. And then he talks about the sweetness of exclusive devotion. Yeah. Today, this is a summary. Don't worry about making sense of it right now. It's a very important chapter. There are 42 verses. Krishna further glorifies the knowledge about him and what makes it so important for Krishna to talk about himself. Because in material world, if a person talks about themselves and glorifies themselves, then they called as very full of pride, right? They're very very haughty personality. But Krishna is going to talk about himself. First, what is the importance? And second, what makes Krishna speak about himself? Why can't someone else talk about himself? And then these 4 verses in the middle of the chapter, verse 8 to 11, is called Chatur Shloki Bhagavad Gita. The 4 most important verses that establish the heart of Bhagavad Gita, which I'll tell when we come to those verses. Then after that, Arjun, after hearing Krishna speak, accepts Krishna's supreme position. He accepts it. Krishna accepts, you're the supreme personality of Godhead. And then he tells Krishna to talk about his different opulences. That's why the chapter is the opulences, or Vibhuti Yoga. Shri Bhagavan Bhuya eva mahabaho shunu me paramam vachaha yatteham priyamanaya vakshyami hitakamyaya. Supreme Lord said, my dear friend, mighty armed Arjun, listen again to my supreme word. which I shall impart to you for your benefit and which will give you great joy. So listen again to this supreme word, to my supreme word. So Krishna is going to talk about himself, and he says that this is paramam vachaha, very supreme. And what is the importance of listening? The importance of listening is it will be beneficial to us and it will give us great joy. Okay, so the more we listen about Krishna, the more we listen about Krishna's activities, the more we listen about Krishna's devotees, the more we become joyful, and that benefits us immensely. So Krishna continues, Name vidhu suraganaha prabhamam na maharshayaha aham adirhi devana maharshi nam cha sarvashaha. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and the sages. So this is the answer to the question I raised, that what makes Krishna speak about himself? Why can't someone else talk about Krishna? Because Krishna is saying that there is actually no one who knows about me. Like you say, for example, when our parents or grandparents, if you ever had that experience, tell us about their childhood, right? Do you have that experience? Like my dad tells me about his childhood all the time. Yeah, you have that experience? Oh, we were living in such and such place. The house was like this. We used to go to school like this. Yeah, people were like this. Yeah, do you have that experience from from people of your family?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
So, because we were not there, so because we were not there, so we can't really possibly think what it was like. So that's why they have to talk about their life on their own. Similarly, Krishna is Adi Purush. Brahma says in Brahma Samhita, Govindam Adi Purusham Tam Aham Bhajami. So he's the Adi Purush, means he's the first. He's God. He's always there. And everybody came second. Everybody came from Krishna. That's why Krishna has to talk about himself, so that we know it directly from Krishna who he is, because he's the first. And he's clarifying, don't think that anybody else can talk, like a demigod can talk or great sages can talk, because neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin. For in every respect, I am the source of the demigods and the sages. Okay. Yo mam ajam anadi cha vetti loka maheshwaram asamuddha samartyeshu sarva pape pramuchyate. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he undiluted among men is freed from all sins. So is it clear? Because sometimes this question may come, and I think I used to have this question when I first started reading Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna talks about him a lot. It's like, is he proud? Do you understand that? Is it because Krishna is proud, or is it because actually there is nobody else to talk about him? Do you understand now or no? It's a good time to ask.
It does appear that he is little bit being snobbish or proud. It appears like that.
Yeah, it appears externally. Yeah, you're right. Externally, it appears like that, but he's clarifying it, that there is no one who could explain me because everyone is originating from me. So that fact is a fact. Let's say that there is a engineer, a person who's qualified as an engineer, and the person says, I am a computer science engineer. I got my degree in IIT, some college in India, IIT Delhi, Kharagpur, or wherever. And then I went to MIT in Boston, and then I started my own company. And now my company turnover is like so many billions of dollars per year. Is it a proud thing, or is it this person is stating the facts? We can take it either way, but this person, we have to come understand the pulse, or palpate the pulse of the person who's speaking. They say 20% of the things that happen in our life are the things that happen, they're destined. Okay, but 80% of our life is made up of how we take those things. So only 20% of what is happening is out of our control, basically. 80% is the perception, or how we perceive. Do you remember that example of the old couple and the young couple? The car is new, or the marriage is new? Do you remember that example?
No,
I gave
Mataji.
I gave that example in the beginning classes. Maybe you were not there, Mataji. Does anyone else doesn't remember the perception, the difference in perception? And I gave that in the first class.
Yes,
You remember?
Mataji.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
So this couple is looking at the other couple, and the wife is thinking the marriage is new, but the husband is thinking the car is new. Right? There's like some people are thinking Krishna is proud, and some people are thinking Krishna is speaking because there's no one else to speak about Krishna. But we have to actually, that is why we need a guru. That's the reason we need a teacher, acharya, who can actually teach us that what is really the fact. Am I coming in here with my own colored glasses, or am I coming in here to understand what the speaker's intent is, speaker's intent and feeling is? So as per Srila Prabhupada explains, the Krishna is not proud, or even if he's proud, he has a reason to be proud. He's not proud in the air. So, but Krishna is not like, he's clarifying that there's no one else who can talk about me. So hear of me. And who can hear of him? Who is sinless? One has to be sinless. And who can be sinless? Who accepts Krishna as Ajam? Ajam means unborn. Anadim. Anadim means beginningless. And Vetti Loka Maheshwaram. Vetti Loka Maheshwaram means the supreme lord of all the world. Asamuddha. Asamuddha means undiluted. Samuddha means deluded, means in delusion. Can't understand whether it's, you know how when we are waking up from the sleeping state to the waking state in the morning, especially, there's like, takes few seconds sometimes to orient. So that's delusion. And coming out of delusion, asamuddha, samartyeshu. Asamuddha samartyeshu means amongst all these people, one who is not deluded. Sarva pape pramuchate, and has to be free from all the sins, can understand Krishna. So can understand. And is becoming free from all the sins. So again, Ajam, and who understands Krishna as unborn. Anadim, who understands Krishna as beginningless. Vyakti Loka Maheshwaram, who understands Krishna as the proprietor of the entire universe. Asamuddha Samartyeshu, that person is undiluted among all the men. Sarva pape pramuchate, is freed from all the sins. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme lord of all the worlds, he undiluted among men is freed from all sins. If we are not understanding Krishna like this, then it's not that Krishna is not like this. It's just that we are not free from sinful activities. Okay. For example, if I gave this example also before, this is Srila Prabhupada's example. If somebody is driving a vehicle in a outside country, and let's say that they are coming from a country where there's a right hand driving, and then now they're driving in a part of the world where there's left hand driving. So, and they're not following the laws because their mind is deluded, right is left, left is right. But then they got caught because they did some violation of the traffic rules. Can they give this reason that, oh, I didn't know about the rules, so I should not be punished? Is it a valid reason to give? Because they are...
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
The
No,
person
Mataji.
will be punished, right? So it's not that the laws are not there. It's not that the rules are not there. It's that the person is not aware. But like that, it's not that Krishna doesn't have all these qualities. But we are not able to understand Krishna that way because we are not free from our sinful tendency, which is fine. That's why the whole process is there. Okay, but we have to have a goal and an intent before we begin something. This is the philosophy behind reading Bhagavad Gita, or chanting Hare Krishna, or eating only Krishna prasadam, or going to the temple, or actually doing anything in life for that matter. Be very clear in the goal and intent behind that goal before actually hitting the road to get it. Okay, so this is Mother Devki. When she was in prison of Kansa, and she was carrying Krishna. So all these sages, great sages, we see the Narad Muni, we see Lord Shiva, we see Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, and we see all these demigods coming and paying obeisances to Mother Devaki because she's carrying Krishna in her body. Then Krishna continues, Maharshaya sapta purve chatvaro manavastatha madbhava manasa jata yesham lokam imah prajaha. The 7 great sages, and before them, the 4 other great sages and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, are born out of my mind, and all creatures in this planet descend from them. So this genealogy of creation of this material world where we are situated is, the principle is given in Bhagavad Gita, but the expansion is in Srimad Bhagavatam, starting from Canto 2, and it goes on till Canto 4. Okay, so from Krishna's mind, 4 great sages, then Manus, and then everyone else around us, either human being or any species of life, or any animal, or anybody that we see, trees, aquatics, everyone is coming from the Manus, who are actually coming from the 4 great sages, who are actually coming from the mind of Krishna. Tam vibhutim yogam cha mama yo veti tatvataha sa avikalpena yogena yujyatena atra sanshayah. He who knows in truth this glory and power of mine engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt. Unalloyed. So one who knows Krishna with all the qualities that we mentioned in verse 3, that he's Ajam, unborn, Anadim, he's beginningless, Vikti Loka Maheshwaram, he's proprietor of all the planetary systems, and also a Samuddha Samarteshu, is not deluded among men, is free from all sinful activities, and actually sees Krishna as being the seed behind the entire creation. Then what happens? What is the result? The person is engaged in unalloyed devotional service to Krishna. What does the word alloy mean? I think there are some students in this class. What does the word alloy mean? If you take the word un out, the prefix un out, what does the word alloy mean? You can even write in the chat. What does alloy mean?
Mixture of metals and non-metals.
Yeah, mixing of different metals. Is that what you said, Mataji? So mixing, yes. So alloy means mixing of different metals, right? Like, for example, brass is, I think, copper and manganese. You mix them and then you make brass, like that. So we make mix 2 metals to make a third metal. That's alloy. Unalloyed means not mixing, pure. It's not like my bhakti towards Krishna is driven because of the desire for karma, because of the desire for jnana, because of the desire for some for some yogic siddhis. No, it's just driven because Krishna is so nice. It's like unalloyed devotional service. This scene is when Krishna and Balram are entering the gates of Mathura. So this is Krishna and Balram. This is given in Krishna book, the 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is the gate of Mathura. And they're coming to fight with Kansa. And when they entered the gate of Mathura, everybody, even we can see so many elephants and cows, and see these elephants here. And then there's so many cows. There are cows here, and so many people, children, whatever they were doing, they just stopped doing because they were so attracted to the beauty of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even Vyasdev mentions about the women on the rooftops of their houses. You know, he even mentions about some of the royal women were not to go out in public. So they were actually looking at Krishna and Balram from their windows or from their rooftops, and everybody, whatever they were doing, even far and wide, they all got attracted to the beauty of Krishna and Balram. One can say that how come they were able to see Krishna and Balram from so far away? Because, you know, if you have ever been to a public speaking place or a public, a lot of crowd is there. So sometimes we can't see the speaker. Sometimes we can't see the performer. Yeah? Yes, it's happened. Yes. Sometimes we can't see them in person. Or if there's a grand wedding, sometimes we can't even see the bride and groom. So nowadays they put video screens everywhere, right? Yes, have you seen that?
Yes.
Yes,
LCD,
yes.
big
Right,
screen.
so one can say that, oh, Krishna and Balram are young children, they're 16 years old. So how come everybody from far and wide are seeing? So you see, that's what I'm talking about when we bring our own perception into Krishna consciousness and we're not able to palpate or get the meaning of what the author is talking about. So Krishna and Balram are like sun. So sun is shining above all of us across the globe, actually across the whole creation in this world. There are so many billions of human beings on the earth, but can each one of the human beings see the sun? Or we have to like wait sun to come on my roof and then see the sun? Or can each one of us see the sun? Yes or no?
Mataji. Yes.
Yes. So
So yes, so it's not like because there are 7 billion, 8 billion people, so sun becomes hidden by the crowd. It doesn't happen that way. So Krishna and Balram are like that. They're the source of the sun. So they're so effulgent and they're so personal to the devotees that they're visible. Okay. So that is the importance of being engaged in an unalloyed devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But that's not going to happen unless and until we have done the preliminary work. So these 4 verses, starting from verse 8 to verse 11, talks about the principle of, just hear it out, don't need to go in details, Sambandha Gyan, Abhidaya Gyan, and Prayojan Gyan. So Sambandha Gyan, our Shastras talk about, culminate in these 3 things, Sambandha, Abhidaya, Prayojan. Sambandha Gyan means, what is my relationship with Krishna? Like, what is the relationship of the soul with the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Once we have the understanding of the Sambandha, the next thing is Abhidaya. Okay, I understand this is my relationship. Now, what is the activity based on that relationship? And then once we understand the activity, then the Prayojan. Prayojan means goal. What was the reason to at all understand the relation between Krishna and us? What was the reason to at all understand the activity behind that relationship, or which that relationship entails? What's the goal? Prayojan is the goal. So goal is to go back to Krishna, to become unalloyed to become a devotee of Krishna. Okay, so Prabhupada gives this example of Sambandha, Abhidaya, Prayojan as a marriage. He said earlier in India, people used to get married at a very young age. Right? So the Sambandha is established. Sambandha means relationship of marriage. So Prabhupada then explains, it's not, okay, a boy gets married to a girl. It's not that now, okay, the girl is going back to her father's house. No, she actually goes to her husband's house and tries to understand the meaning of this married life, right? It's not like, okay, thank you, we got married. Okay, I'm going back to my dad's house. You go back to your dad's house. Not like that. So there's this activity in that marriage, which is, of course, in Grahastha ashram, is centered around Supreme Personality of Godhead. How do we serve each other to serve Krishna together? And what is the goal? Why at all do this? Prabhupada explains is to have a very Krishna conscious married life and to have children who are also going to be Krishna conscious. Okay, so Sambandha, Abhidaya, Prayojan. So 10.8 establishes the Sambandha. What's my Sambandha with the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante maam buddha bhava samanvitaha. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who knows this perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So, aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. I am the source of this material world and spiritual world. Everything is coming from me. Basically, Krishna is the creator and we are all created. So the relationship is established, creator and created. Iti matva bhajante mam. You see the word bhaja is again there. So one who understands this. First of all, that person is very intelligent. And secondly, that person is going to be engaged in my devotional service with all their hearts. There's going to be no reservation. Matchitta Matkata. Oh, sorry. I'll play this. Matchitta Matkata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me, and their lives are surrendered to me. And they derive great satisfaction and bliss, enlightening one another and conversing about me. So this is the Abhidaya Gyan, this verse, which means that what is the activity of one who has understood Krishna as the creator and us being the created. How does that person act? Remember Arjuna asked this question in second chapter. What are the symptoms of Astita Dhir Muni? How does that person walk? How does that person talk? How does that person sit? So these are the symptoms of a person who has actually understood the verse number 8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Krishna is always thinking of his devotees, and devotee is always thinking about Krishna. And when the devotee and devotee meet, then they are always talking about Krishna. And when they talk about Krishna, they derive so much pleasure. They get new realizations, and they go more close to Krishna. Individually, together, Krishna comes close to them, individually and together, and there's so much joy. Okay, so this Srila Prabhupada is one such example. That this is Srila Prabhupada in 1972 in San Francisco Rath Yatra.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
So nice, right? Like Shiva Prabhupada is like spreading Krishna consciousness, and whoever is getting Krishna consciousness is happy. Then Shiva Prabhupada gets more happy, and then Krishna gets happy. Okay, then what happens? Let's go further deep. Tesham satata yukta nam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Okay, so verse number 8 establishes the sambandha, the relationship. 9 establishes the activity in that relationship, that Krishna's thoughts are dwelling in the heart of the devotee, and devotee's heart is filled with Krishna's thoughts. So vice versa, and then they all meet, the devotees meet, they relish talking about Krishna and enlightening one another. Then what happens? This is prayojan. This verse and the next verse is prayojan. That, okay, if somebody is trying to come to Krishna, then Krishna is also taking a step towards that person, and Krishna himself gives the understanding by which they can come to me. Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Tesham evanukam partham aham agyana jam tamaha nashayami atma bhavastho jnana deepena bhashvata. Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Okay, so we don't have to feel so left out and alone because Krishna consciousness is so hard, because Bhagavad Gita is so hard, because chanting Hare Krishna is so time consuming, because the rules and regulations are so difficult. No, it starts with the desire. Do I want to go to Krishna despite of all these difficulties? Do I want to understand who I am despite of all these apparent, blockers that I can perceive in my living, in my life? Do I still want to do it? And if I ask Krishna, if I show the sincerity, then Krishna does this. When Arjun heard this, then this is Arjun's prayer to Krishna. Arjuna vacha param brahma param dhama pavitram paramam bhavan purusham shashvatam divyam adi devam ajam vibhum ahustvam rishaya sarve devrashi naradas tatha asito devalo vyasa swayam cheva bravishime. Arjun said, you are the supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode, the purifier, supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. All the great sages such as Narad, Asita, Devala, and Vyas proclaimed this of you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me. Okay, so when Arjun heard all this from Krishna, Arjun is like, whenever a devotee is in ecstasy or a devotee is in fear, the devotee only knows one thing, and that one thing is pray. So he's in ecstasy and he's praying that, oh my God, Krishna, you are Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. Let's see how he's garlanding Krishna. So let's garland Krishna with what Arjun is saying. Param Brahma, you are the supreme truth. Param Dhama, ultimate abode. Pavitram, the purest, untainted by material contamination. Paramam Bhavan, the absolute truth. Purusham, you are a person, supreme enjoyer. Eternal, Shashvatam. Divyam, transcendental. Adi Devam, original Lord. Ajam, the unborn. Vibhum, the greatest. Accepted by all acharyas. Like Narad, Asita, Devala, and Vyas. You yourself are declaring it to me. I totally accept as truth. Neither demigods or the demons can understand your personality. Okay, so one can say, oh, Arjun is friends with Krishna. So friend like to praise another friend, to slash that doubt if it is arising in the mind of a reader. He gives reference. It's not just me who is accepting you with all these qualities, but actually Narad, Asita, Devala, and Vyas have also said that. And my realization is validated by these acharyas and also by you, that you are also telling me the same thing. And what is the same thing? That neither demigods or demons or great sages can understand your personality. Only a pure devotee. And then Arjun continues in his ecstasy to request Krishna this. Sarvametad ritam manye yanma vadasi keshava nahi te bhagavan vyaktim vidur deva na danavaha. Oh Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the gods nor demons, O Lord, though thy personality. 10:15 is, indeed you alone know yourself by your own potencies, O origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, O supreme person, Lord of the universe. So he's in so much ecstasy. Prabhupada writes in 14th verse, Prabhupada, the acceptance of Arjun of all that Krishna say should be emulated. Then we can understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and then only can we understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. It's not that Krishna is a proud person. No, it's true. And Krishna is saying, okay, when you understand this, then not only do you understand what I'm telling you, but you also understand who you are, and you also understand who we are together, and then you also understand what is our activity together. And the goal is you come to me. When you're trying to come to me, I am also trying to come to you. So we both are taking steps towards each other. And that is the perfection of life according to Krishna consciousness. Arjun asked, how should I meditate on you? In what various forms are you to be contemplated, O blessed Lord? Tell me again in detail, O Janardhan, Krishna, of your mighty potencies and glories, for I never tire of hearing your ambrosial words. So he's like, Krishna has only said few things about him. He's Anadim, Ajam, Vetiloka Maheshwaram, But Arjun now, because he's so in so much ecstasy and accepted Krishna, whatever Krishna said, the way he said, I could actually feel the pulse of Krishna and Krishna's feeling. He now he wants to know more. Okay, Krishna, what else are you? You said, okay, this is what you are, but what else? So then Krishna talks about his vibhutis. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Hantate Kathiyashyami Divyahi Atma Vibhutayaha Pradhayantaha Kurukshreshtha Na Asti Anto Vistarasya Me. The blessed Lord said, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent, O Arjun, for my opulence is limitless. So, okay, we want to see God. Now Krishna is going to help us see him everywhere as to where all he is present. Okay, I'm going to unmute and please answer my question as we go through this picture. Please don't go random, okay? And if you have a background noise, please don't unmute. Okay, what is this syllable? What is this syllable? Unmute, please. What is this syllable? You can see my pointer.
Om.
Very nice. And who is this meditating? Who is this person?
Gautam Buddha.
Very nice. Thank you, Lord Buddha. Who is this? Who is this with a bow and arrow and green in color? Who is this? Who is it? Lord Ram. Very nice. Sri Ram.
Ramchandra.
What is that? What is this season in which all the plants are bearing fruits and flowers and
Spring
spring
Autumn.
season? Very nice. Who is this cow who gives the milk all the time, not just twice a day, but all the time?
Kamadhenu.
Kamdhenu, Surbi. Very nice. Okay, who is this? Who's playing?
Narad Muni.
Narad. Thank you. Who is this? Who is listening to Krishna in the battlefield of Mahabharat? Who is this?
Arjun.
Very nice, Arjun. Okay, who is this who carries the Supreme Personality of Godhead on his back and flies everywhere? Who is this?
Garuda.
Behind Narad. Garud, very nice. Okay, who is this who has given us all the scriptures that we are reading? Mahabharat, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Who is this, Muni?
Vedvyasji.
Vedavyas, very nice. Who is this devotee of Krishna who was born to a demon father and was a devotee of Prahlad Maharaj? Very nice. Who is this laying in the Ananta Shesha? Mahavishnu, very nice. Or Garbhadakshay Vishnu, very nice. Okay, who is this? Which is this animal who lives under the water but has teeth like that? Shark, very nice. Who is this sitting on the back of a peacock and is a military general of demigods? Who is this? Kartike, very nice. Who is this under the god demigod of water has a rope to punish if somebody is going against dharma? The Lord of Waters. Who is this? Varun Dev. Very nice. Who is this with it's devotee of Krishna in the snake body and has Nagmani on? Huh?
Kalia.
No. Okay. It's opulence of Krishna. Vasuki. Very nice. Who is this with a rope and a stick in hand to punish people after death who does something wrong? Yama, very nice. Which animal is this?
Lion.
Very nice. Who is this? Who is the finance minister of the demigods? Who is very rich? Who is this? Kuber, very nice. Who is this? Is a very celestial singer, very beautiful, opulent, live in Indra is sitting on Eravat. This is Indra, the thunderbolt. This one. Who is this?
Chandradev.
No, the singer. So
Gandharva.
it's Gandharvas. Very nice, Gandharvas. Who's the elephant? What's the name of the elephant on which Indra sits? Airavat. Okay, who is this?
Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva. Very nice. Very nice. And what mountain is this on the back which was
Kailash.
used?
Kaila.
No. Okay, Kailash is one, but this was used for churning of the ocean in the
Sumeru.
past time.
Sumeru.
Meru, very nice. Meru. Okay, so these are all the opulences of Krishna that Krishna describes in this chapter. Thank you. So basically, he describes 82 opulences in this chapter. It says, among the Adityas, I'm Vishnu. Among the sources of light, I'm Sun. Among all the Maruts, or the Lord of Wind, I'm Marichi. Among the stars, I'm Moon. Among the Vedas, I'm Samaved. Among the demigods, I'm Indra. Among the senses, I'm Mind. Among all the living beings, I'm the life force. Among all the Rudras, I'm Lord Shiva. Like that. Among all the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I'm Kuver. Among all the priests, I'm Brahaspati. Among all the generals, I'm Skanda. Among all the bodies of water, I'm Ocean. Among all the sages, I'm Bhrigu. Like that, he continues and describes all these opulences to Arjun, which I think we all can go back and refer that I'm also in woman. Krishna says, in woman, I am fame, fortune, speech, memory, intelligence, faithfulness, and patience. So all these things is Krishna. Among the poetry, Krishna is Gayatri Mantra. So then he says, Yat chapi sarvabhutanam bija tad aham arjuna na tad asti vina yat swan syan maya bhutam characharam. Furthermore, O Arjun, I am the generating seed of all existences. There is no being, moving or unmoving, that can exist without me. So Krishna is actually making it very clear that there is nothing that can exist without Krishna, whether it's moving or it's unmoving. Unmoving is like the plants that are standing on the same place, and moving is all other species. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. So Krishna is so rich, so powerful, and he still wants each one of us. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam shrimad urjitam eva va tat tad eva gachatvam mama tejo amsha sambhavam. Know that all beautiful, glorious, and mighty creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. So there's this big notion that, oh, everything that's beautiful is Maya, right? We have to like close our eyes or see the ugliness behind this beauty to actually, and to become very knowledgeable. There's this class of devotees who are Mayavadis who want to nullify everything. But Vaishnavas are different in this way that, yes, there is this beautiful thing, but who's the creator? We're interested in the creator. So the creation is so good. One time Srila Prabhupada was on a walk in morning, and he was with his disciples, and one of the disciples told Srila Prabhupada, I think they were in the woods, and the sky was very clear and the greenery was very nice. There was nice quiet lake and there were mountains. The birds were chirping. Everything looked so beautiful. So he said, Prabhupada, this is so beautiful. And Srila Prabhupada said, if this is so beautiful, imagine the creator must be so beautiful. Because this creation is coming from Krishna's mind. So how can anybody who doesn't have a beautiful mind create something which is very beautiful? Not possible. Okay. Then he says, Atva bahuna tene tena kim gyatena tavarjuna vishtabhyam idham kritsam ekam shena sito jagat. But what need is there, Arjun, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. This Krishna is not only rich or richest of rich, all richness, but he has all powers. It's not that if somebody is trying to be very powerful and rich in this world, even demigods, then they have to work so much. They have to become workaholic, right? You have to work like 30 hours out of 24 hours, hardly sleep, to get some gain in this world. Krishna, if he has so much, don't think that Krishna is workaholic, because Krishna is pervading and supporting this with just one fragment of himself, which is the Paramatma feature. Just one fragment, is enough to just make this whole creation, which we have still not understood what it is. Okay, so this particular chapter is to impress upon and also be able to see Krishna everywhere around us. So Krishna is unknowable and source of all. We understood this from verse 1 to 7, where Krishna made it clear that Krishna is the only person who can talk about himself, because everyone else is coming from Krishna, like the sages, the great demigods, everybody else. So Krishna is now going to speak about himself. So pure bhakti, because once we hear about Krishna from the right source and understand, then the next inquisitiveness, what can I do for this person who loves me so much? So that's pure bhakti, a sense of Bhagavad Gita from verse 8 to 11. Mat chitta, mat kata, prana, where I tried to explain Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan principle. We didn't go into details, but principle of Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan. Then after hearing all this, Arjuna accepts Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead, as Krishna is telling him. This is from verse 12 to 18. And then he requests Krishna to tell more. Tell me more, Krishna, tell me more. Where can I see you? I want to see you more and more. And Krishna describes his 82 opulences, but then he says, Divya hi atma vibhutayaha. All these are transcendental. All these opulences are transcendental, and I have countless. I have just given you a sample. And it's not that I'm working too much to maintain all this. I'm like working so long, hours. No, Krishna is maintaining it just with one fragmental part. Okay, so this is the summary of this chapter. I want to